Welcome to the May 9th, 2024 Inspiring Author Conversations. I'm Kathy Davis, Davis Creative Publishing. Today we'll be speaking with Dr. Lynnea Brumbaugh about Breathe, Move, and Thrive, removing that writer's block and get back in the flow. Our theme for 2024 is growing your business by the book, and each month we welcome guests who inspire authors by sharing knowledge, ideas, opportunities, and wisdom. Help me welcome Dr. Lynnea Brumbaugh, Ph.D. She helps teams solve problems without emotional turbulence. 3 early brushes with mortality and 2 international adoptions honed her passion to cultivate self-awareness through the Enneagram and energy practices. Her personal transformation fueled her passion to equip teams and empower leaders with skills in effective communication, increase productivity, and improve decision-making. Her clients include EOS, MetLife, Agile Coach, and Fuel to Fire, among many others. Welcome, Lynnea.
Oh, thank you. Thank you so much.
I love having conversations with you, even when we're not recording them, because you have all this knowledge about things that I love to hear about and learn about. So I'm thrilled.
Likewise, Kathy. Likewise.
Here today. So as an academic, how did you first start getting involved in breath work and Enneagrams?
It was definitely not through my academic pedigrees. In fact, I started working with these like modalities before the research on trauma came out. So this was back in the early 2000s after I had done my second international adoption. And so there was a lot of stuff that I didn't know what to do with. My therapist happened to know some of these modalities, and we started working with them. And I kept it all a secret because my brain, my academic brain, and she had a PhD as well. She was like, "That was just your analyzer. Relax." I was like, "My analyzer is working overtime. I need to understand why this works." And I couldn't. I just knew that it did. And so I released my control around having to know everything before I started engaging with it. And I started to trust my body as a pathway to wisdom. And then tons of things shifted for me. And then the research came out. It was my little present for doing my work without proof.
Now, having children at home, and I've met your daughter, so now she's older, but when she was younger and you were trying to talk about these things, I remember when my daughter, who's now in her 40s, and I was trying to introduce her to things like in junior high and that age and the role of the eyes and like, oh, mom, so how did your children adapt to this new information that you had?
So I'll limit it to my daughter because my son is a whole nother story, has literally a chapter in the book Tenacity. So I will tell you about my daughter. She is an extremely logical accountant now. And so when I started asking her to do things like body test and like check in with her emotions, she was just mad. And so I taught her to do this body testing technique where you use your body as a pendulum.
Mhm.
And she was whatever, 15 or 14, something like that. And she did it and her body moved forward. And she looked at me and she said, "You made me do that." And I was like, pretty sure I did. And I'm 3 feet away from you. But it was so powerful, undeniable, and illogical. She had to find an explanation for it.
Because of
And
course, yeah, she learned
yeah,
from you too. Yeah.
yeah. And then after that experience, and I was like, "This is your body, hon. I swear I'm not doing anything to it." It just became so normal for her to check in with her body and to do the body test about little things like she had a little bit of money. Did it benefit her to purchase this or that other thing? And man, it was empowering. And it helped me to trust her. So you know how when you're a parent, you're like, yes, they need to have my guidance and they need to know their own thing. So
Yeah.
once she body tests, I let it go.
That's awesome. Very cool. And then, so have you because you're with Washington University, and do you talk about these things in your classes?
I do. I finally got brave enough. So, yay, thank you. So, after I got fully brave enough to start saying, I'm going to take these weird practices and talk about them and teach them to like 50-year-old executive dudes who run $50 million companies. We're going to do this because I know it works and it's undeniable. And it did work. And it was transformative for entire executive teams. Then I got brave enough to take it into my classroom full of 20-year-old engineering students. So this past year, and it took I was nervous. I was like, okay, guys, research-based stuff here. We're going to do this weird stuff. So I started each class with some breathing and some productivity chops, and the students initially it was weird, and then they loved it. And I just posted this actually. I don't know whether you saw it, but I just got an email last night from a student who's writing a paper, and they were like, thank you so much. And also I wish other professors would like do breathing in the classroom to help us to de-stress. And so that was the celebration. So yeah,
Awesome.
I am doing it.
We,
And
we could
it
always
takes some
call it,
courage.
we could always call it an ancient modality rather than this weird shit,
Yeah, yeah. I ancient modality. I definitely I love we're all word people here, right?
Yeah.
So finding the language that resonates with your person,
Yeah.
that makes a big difference. So I use science language with my engineering students. We're resetting the nervous system, and that helps them. And if I'm with somebody who has a more spiritual underpinning, then I'm like, okay, so like breath. This
Yeah.
is there is a spirit, literally, there is spirit in the breath. So yeah.
So I'm glad you bring up the word breath, because that's what part of what we want to talk about today too. So
Yeah.
how have you expanded your use of the breathing knowledge that you have?
Am I allowed to use Jennifer Bardot as an example?
You sure can.
Okay. So when we were having one of our Zooms right before like the launch of Tenacity, and Jennifer, of course, being beautiful, amazing, honest, open, vulnerable Jennifer that she is, she said, I've got writer's block. I need to write my chapter. And I was like, bing, 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 bing. And so I contacted her. I said, look, I can probably help you with that. And so we had a session, and we did it. It was probably about 20 minutes. I did a very deep breathing meditation visualization with her, and it brought up whatever. And she will be the things that it brought up for her. And she will be the first to say that did unlock, like after that, the writer's block sort of disappeared, and she was able to complete that chapter with more ease.
Yeah. And in using it with your clients, the people in suits, operations, male or female, how has it been, what's been the reaction?
Usually disbelief at first, and then I don't want to miss a single session. Like that's literally it. So, for example, just this past week on Monday, I have a new company client. I've been working with the co-owners are a grandson and a grandfather. So like grandfather's in the 80s, a grandson is not yet 30, and they're co-owners. So go there, right? And so I've been working with the grandson and the operations director, and they loved it, and they wanted to bring in the grandfather, and the grandfather's like, okay, like you guys say at work, we'll do it. So he showed up in one of the sessions, did a practice that everybody else was used to doing because it was repeated. It's the first time he'd ever done it. And so when I was doing a check-in with everybody and they were like sharing their experiences, he just said, I can't believe I felt that. And everybody in the room said, I know, right? So the first time that anybody experiences these like shifts that happen, usually it's, wait, what? And then after that, it's like, this is interesting. And then it's off to the races.
That's amazing. So are there any simple exercises that the writers who were on the call today that we could do?
Yes, actually, do you want me to take you through This is how I begin a lot of sessions. I'm not going to do the deep 20-minute meditation here because we literally don't have time. But if you're open to playing and if you actually want to get up and move with me, I can take you through. And actually, let's make it really real. So I'm going to invite each of you who are writers, whether you are here or not, to just write down on a piece of paper, like, what is a thing that makes you feel stuck right now? So go ahead and do that for a second. If there is a bit of writer's block, just a little note, a word or two, and I'll give you a moment to do that. And when you're ready, I'll take you through a little sequence and we'll see what happens. Okay. I love it. So I see Joanne. Okay. So whenever you're ready, I'll invite you to stand up if you choose. And the first thing we're going to do is called a life force breath. And it's going to sound really weird. It's called a Darth Vader breath. So you're going to go, so there's a constricted throat. And then but wait, there's more. So I'm also going to invite you to use your hands to bring that breath up. And it'll be like 1, 2, 3. Open the heart and join in whenever you want. Inhale. 1, 3. Open the breath and another time. Inhale. 1, 2, 3. Open the heart and push it out. And last time. 1, 2, 3. Open the heart and beautiful. Now we're going to do some productivity chops. This is the fleshy part of your hand against the fleshy part of your hand. So that pinky to pinky place, if you've done tapping, that's a tapping point. While you're doing that, I'm going to invite you to move, breathe, walk if you want to. You can walk back and forth across the screen. So the idea is to get some breath and some flow going. Tap, tap, tap that upper lip. Keep the breath going. Tap, tap, tap underneath the chin. Beautiful. Let's go back to the chop chops. Woo, you're doing great. Keep the breath going. Keep a little movement going. Make it fun and playful. Inhale. One hand on the forehead. One hand on the back of the skull. Sort of down there. Pushing in, allowing the front part of your brain, the back part of your brain to be happy together. Ooh, little brainstem action, keeping you alive. Little prefrontal cortex breathing, keeping the strategy going. They love each other. And let's do some, these are called infinity weaves. So we're going to keep that. So whatever has been released, let it go, let it go. And then bring in whatever wants to be brought in. And then bringing that right into the heart, allowing the heart to receive your own wisdom, your own amazingness. Settling that in, little smile, little soft knees, little wiggle. And with that breath going, keeping the breath going, just return right now to whatever that thing was that you wrote down. And then just write whatever comes out. Be with whatever shifts it then. I'll invite you to go ahead and do that when you're ready. And we'll see what happened. And then we can check in with everybody. Beautiful. You guys are doing great. Yeah. I'll stay here and just breathe for a second while you check in. Look at what you've written.
That's a good way to do that exercise just periodically throughout the day,
Yeah.
because so often I get so focused on what I'm doing, I don't move for 3 hours.
Yeah. Yeah.
And then I can
A little movement. Yeah.
and I can barely get out of my chair when I try and move.
Oh, I love that. So now you have this in your toolkit.
Very
I
cool.
love that. Thank you for letting me know. So Cheryl, did you want to say anything about that for you? And I'll invite you to unmute if that's okay.
Loved. I'm going to concur with everybody that it's really good to get up out of the chair. Thank you.
Yeah, button chair is a myth.
And I had written down what I'm stuck with is that I'm losing my words, which is another way of saying I feel like I'm losing my mind. But so and the other day I heard this voice say, if only she'd exercised. Came out of nowhere, if only she'd exercised. And I thought, I have to exercise. So what we did just now was exactly what my brain is asking me to do.
I am.
And
Yeah.
this felt really good. I think that them getting the front and the back, getting acquainted was very important because I don't know that they have ever.
I am blown away. Thank you, Cheryl. Thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah, thank you, Joanne. Would you like to share anything?
I was actually, I do the body pendulum, but I didn't know if there are other folks on the call or will listen later, understand what that is. So I was thinking maybe you want to demonstrate that too.
I am happy to do that. I want to check in with everybody. And then if you want me to demonstrate and we can do it, I'm happy to do that. Absolutely. Paula, hello. Nice to see you. Did you want to share anything of your experience?
Sure. Yeah, this is very timely because I'm kind of back doing some projects that involve writing. And the thing I wrote down was I get stuck because I'm trying to be fast and good. And it just kind of, the message I just felt was like, just let that go and write what you're supposed to write.
I
So
love that. And that idea of being fast is it's always a mind created myth because the best way to get things done is to stay in whatever pace that you are when you're in your breath and in the moment. So I'm really appreciating the wisdom of that. Thank you. Linda, hello. Hello. Nice to see you.
Hi.
Hello.
Um, I just wanted to say I was kind of stuck writing an email to some people, and I got a whole new fresh breath of how to twist the email writing. So thank you for that, because I was staring at this email for a while trying to make it sound better and come off a little less harsh. And I got a whole new breath. So I'm excited. Yeah.
I'm so happy. And I love your haircut. Oh my gosh, I haven't seen you in
you.
so long. You're so cute. Thank you. It's good to see you.
Yeah.
Kathy, do you want me to go ahead and demonstrate the body testing?
That would be awesome. Yeah.
Awesome. Okay. And you're welcome to do it with me. I don't have to just demonstrate. If you want to play along, you totally can. So you have lots of breath in you right now. So if you would like to stand up and participate, you're welcome to. We're going to start again with these productivity chops. And a little breath and just movement and breath. And these productivity chops is the beginning of everything. So this is, if nothing else, movement, breath, and productivity chops. And now what we can do is sort of allow ourselves to tune into the feet. So we can keep doing that for a little bit as we're tuning into the feet, allowing the toes to kind of tree frog, right? So you're like gripping that, but the knees are nice and soft. So it's like you're a tennis pro. Like I'm gonna be able to go and get whatever I need to, right? Okay, so now having the knees and the feet and the chop and the breath. So now what we're gonna do is just quiet down and allow a reality to happen that is that our bodies are just big old balls of energy. And if we're not stopping a slight movement or a sway, the sway is going to happen. So allow the body to just sway naturally. Don't try to make it do anything. Just allow a sway to happen. It's likely to happen naturally if you've got your toes. There you go, everybody swaying. And now we stay a true statement from this sway. I'm going to say my name. My name is Lynnea. And you can see that my body went forward. So I'll invite you all to say a true statement. My name is a good one. You can say that out loud. And from that sway, just see Joanne had a yes. And just see what the body does. Yeah, I see smiles and movements. Yeah, okay. And then from there, we just say, make sure that you know what your yes and your no is. So my name is Sebastian. That's the dog's name. No, apparently it's not. So then my body said no. And Cheryl, I saw an interesting expression on your face. What was that?
Well, I said my name is Muffin,
Uh-huh.
and
And anything happen?
well, no, I mean it was
Okay.
like, yeah, it
Yeah,
didn't.
sometimes there's a little side to side. Did anybody get a definite no, like a definite backwards on the no? Joanne did, Kathy did. And if you don't, like if there, so options, you go back to this and you can do any of that whole sequence again where you're breathing, not trying to control, getting grounded and curious and playful. And then you could change it and say, like if I'm staring at a brick wall right there, that wall is black. No. Yeah, you can keep on playing with that if you like. And if you like, I can go ahead.
So when you say no, when you say something that's not true,
Mhm.
then the body stops. Is that?
The body usually, and different bodies are different, but most bodies are going to go backwards. Like there's a no, like I'm going away from that, as opposed to a
Yes.
true, I'm going towards that. So it's kind of natural, that most people have.
I do believe that I stopped whatever movement my body was doing.
Yeah, it could have felt like, wait, that
Yeah,
doesn't feel good or it doesn't feel safe. So that's that makes sense. Awesome. I love that you problem solved around that. Yeah. Does anybody else have any questions or uh, comments about some of the usefulness of this? And Kathy, I'll invite you to unmute.
It helps if I do that. I'm going to try this with my grandkids and my grandsons. Because they're at the age 9 and 12 that they would think this is pretty cool. So
If they would, absolutely. And then they have a tool for life to
Mhm.
tune into that gut knowing that we can override with our rationalization. Like we can go into analysis paralysis.
Mhm.
And I love my prefrontal cortex. Like I don't want to get rid of it. I don't want to just be an instinctive being who goes by gut instinct, but I don't want to lose that either, because that is such an important knowing. That is the instinct that keeps our blood flowing and our cells multiplying. Like this intelligence is astonishing. It's our immune system. It's all of it. And we want to have access to that.
Yeah, I find it amazing. And
It is. Joanne? Oh, sorry.
There's another thing that I thought that might help everyone on the call. If you don't know if your body needs something, like just use this glass of water as an example. And I'll ask, does my body need this? And if it does, I can always feel like it pulling towards me.
Mhm.
But if I don't, it pulls away from me. So
Exactly.
that's another
Yeah,
one that
yeah.
I love to use.
It is very useful for nutrition because the body knows the nutrition. And thank you so much, Joanne, for saying that. A small tweak that I have that I learned from my energy master is that when we state a statement rather than ask a question, the body is more sure that I have like this is a true or a false statement, because we're trying to get like non-dichotomous reality down into a binary yes or no. So it's a pretty big ask, and the body can handle that, but we want to help it. I always you can think of the body intelligence as a very intelligent toddler. Like, yes, I know stuff and I have a will, and I need to be communicated with very clearly in order to do the things that you really want me to do. So that's how the phrase that I use and teach, and I'm not attached to this, but I'm just like letting you know that I appreciate your saying, and I'm giving you a little tweak if you're interested, is this benefits my body. Oh, I gotta know. I'm not sure what's in there, but it may be like And there was something like
Yesterday's water.
Yeah, yesterday's water. It could be I had some ginger in there yesterday, and it may just be like, yeah, we like today's ginger. We didn't like yesterday's ginger.
We want a fresh one. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
When you mentioned toddler, it made me think, when did you start getting excited about health and this kind of living and this kind of solutions?
It was, I had a kind of cancer when I was a child that should have killed me. So I had a kind of cancer called Ewing sarcoma. They gave my parents like a 1% chance that I would live a year, a 3% chance that I would live a year. Like the mortality rate was very high, especially back in the 70s. And lo and behold, not only did I live, but I didn't lose my leg. And even I had like brutal chemotherapy that they don't even use anymore. And this was before they had ports. Like it's like trauma. And I didn't lose all my hair. Like so I was extremely interested, just because of my experiences, about how bodies heal, how medicine works, how like torturing bodies with medicine,
Yeah.
it can be efficacious, but it's icky. Like all of that. And so I was, because of that, I was always extremely interested in my health. I never drank, I never smoked. I'm like, no. I fool me once. So that was probably the beginning of it. And
Impetus,
I
yeah.
just kept with the accumulated traumas up until I was, 25, and I didn't know that it was trauma. I just finally found things that worked out of, just because like life finds what it needs if you just keep on letting it find it. So, yeah.
Stay open to it. Yeah. That's
Yeah.
awesome. Well, I have heard you use the word co-regulation when you talk about your corporate leaders. Tell us a little bit of what that is and how that works.
Yeah, I would. Thank you for asking. So, we know that the body self-regulates, like we can help our whole systems to regulate, so that our systems are running a regular pattern and we feel good and grounded. One of the reasons that breakups are so challenging is that we have been used to the bodies and breath and talk and touch of our beloved to keep our nervous systems co-regulated. We help each other in 5 million different ways when we live together, when we spend a lot of time together, to bring us up when we're down and to bring us like down when we're too up. Like we help each other. Healthy relationships help us to co-regulate. Breakups and separations, moving, daughters moving out of the house, freak out that co-regulation system. So that is what co-regulation is. So moving to my favorite way of working with executives, which is with executive teams, when I train an entire team of leaders to breathe well, move well, tune into their vulnerabilities as strengths, and do the things, not just think about them, really live into the life in their bodies, and to help each other do it together, the decision-making processes get much easier. When the emotions come up and we want to double down on our opinion, do what we think is right, or when we just go, I don't want to deal with that, and then back off instead of engaging, whatever it is that our patterns are, when we co-regulate in an executive setting, which looks weird, and they're like buying into it anyway, then during the meeting, they'll start like, okay, so that was stressful, and they'll start tapping together and release it, and then the problems get solved faster.
For me, it's amazing. I mean, because 25 years ago, I was smack dab in corporate conference rooms with suits, maybe one other female.
Yep.
And would never have, I mean, I would have been kicked out the window right there.
Yeah.
From the 9th floor.
Yeah.
That's how crazy they would have thought I had been.
Exactly.
For me to imagine that this is becoming more norm and accepted in work environments is amazing. I just So I
Thank you.
applaud you on bringing that and being one of those messengers that just says, oh, but here's a solution. Have you tried this?
Yeah.
And
Thank you. You have just spoken what my greatest fear was as I was being drawn to do this work in an executive corporate space, as opposed to the spaces that are like more spiritual or more yoga, or like those spaces, as I was like pulled almost against my will into marketing myself and developing my brand around that. I was like, this is crazy. They're like, why are they going to take you seriously? All of that. And it didn't matter. It was time. It was time. It was what I needed to do. And I went into it with the courage of my own experience. I was like, I can't argue the fact that this changed my
Right.
life in every
and you
single.
have the credentials that people are more likely to believe you.
That whole PhD thing helps.
Yeah,
The whole being a WashU
yeah.
professor, I lead with that now,
Yeah.
so that I've got positional authority.
They've
Um,
not kicked you off campus yet. Yeah. Or will they? Never.
No, they haven't. Although, so I like in my classroom, I get to be the queen of whatever I do.
Yeah,
Like,
that's
you know,
awesome.
when I tried to take it into the larger spaces where I think it would be helpful organizationally, like there's just no space for that. So, okay, that they're not ready for it. And
They'll
that's
get
okay.
there. Well, when they see the positive outcomes that you're creating, that's when they'll go, what is she doing over there? Maybe we should look into this. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. Oh, thank you. Oh, Kathy, I feel so affirmed. Thank you for that.
Yeah, no, I've seen so many miracles happen just by thinking outside of the box, whether it's physical health, mental health. So I'll be happy to talk to him and go, hey, you need to listen to her. Not that,
Thank you.
not that my little voice, but
Aw.
I'll be there for you. Yeah.
Your voice, are you kidding me? Yes, thank you. Yes, I appreciate that.
So I want to remind everybody that if you have direct questions for Lynnea, it's a small enough group today. Just raise your hand or unmute yourself and jump in anytime. I understand, Lynnea, that you also have a surprise little gift for everybody that we'll make sure they get a link to. Can you tell us a little bit about that?
Yes, it's actually called, like, if you go to my LinkedIn, it's my Linktree thing, and there's a thing called the Blame Eliminator. So if you click that Blame Eliminator button, it'll there's like a free course that you'll sign up for. So so then you'll get access to about 30 minutes worth of videos. And if you go to the very last one, that's the Blame Eliminator. But it takes you through like the body test, a lot of the things that we've done today. They are there in a format that's easy for you to I'm teaching it to you on a Zoom, and etc. So there you go. That's it.
Awesome. And so we'll make sure everybody gets your Linktree link.
Yep, that's the one.
That'll, I'm sure, will have lots of ways to connect with you through social media or
Oh yeah, yeah.
reach out. Plus
Please do.
the Blame Eliminator video. I can't wait to see
Yeah.
that one. And it kind of recaps, like you said, a lot of what we did today.
Yeah, the Blame Eliminator video, it's like the last one in this series, and it builds on some of the skills that the earlier videos teach. I call it the 30-minute confidence course. And so each one of them has like a little energy technique with me teaching you sort of how to use it and when it's helpful. And then after you get some of these skills in your body, then the Blame Eliminator it's really fun. You get to get in touch with your inner with your inner toddler temper tantrum. Like you get to actually go there and say, it isn't their fault in a way that doesn't damage relationships and also helps the exaggeration to release it so you can get real again. Yeah, it's really fun.
I'm definitely going to check that one out. So
Awesome.
if we were to share some parting words of wisdom for those of us on the call or listening in today, what would that be?
That is a good question. My during the time when I was pre-developed, before I found these courses, I listened nonstop to Eckhart Tolle's audiobook. And one of the words of wisdom from him that went into my brain is Don't let a mad world tell you that success is anything other than a successful present moment.
Ooh, that just shot goosebumps down both arms and out fingers. Yeah.
I got him too. And that lives in my brain. Yeah, it's really
Julie,
cool.
maybe we could get that quote and share
Mhm.
it in our email out to everybody. That would be
Absolutely.
awesome.
Absolutely.
So, well, I have had so much fun today. I could probably go another hour,
Oh, sweet.
but we
Me too.
will let people get back to their day. And thank you so
Yeah.
much, Lynnea.
You
I-
are welcome. Thank you for inviting me.
I do want to remind everybody that next Lunch and Learn is Thursday, June 13th, and we'll be talking with Lisa Reed about the truth about how to get speaking gigs now. And that's same time, same Bat Cave, 11:30 a.m. Central, and Thursday, the 13th of June. Gosh, I can't even believe it's May, and now I'm saying June. Gosh. Well, everybody enjoy this weekend. It's supposed to be beautiful. The weather's supposed to be awesome here, at least in the Midwest. And I do hope that the cicadas stay at bay as much as we can expect them to. Be careful out there, people. If the
The
cicadas are
locusts are going to
flying.
get you.
Yes. Okay. And thank you, Cheryl, for calling in from all the way from Utah.
Wow.
Thank you.
Great.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Check our chat real quick. We got a thank you and a thank you and a thank you. Awesome,
Oh,
people.
And, I
thank
just
you.
unmuted so I could say thank you, and this was lovely. It was so good to be here.
I needed this morning. Now I can, just like Paula had said, now I can, or was it Linda? Linda, maybe. Now I can go finish that email that I started and I'll delete a couple lines and start over. Yes.
Yeah, that's the benefit.
So
So
thank you so much, Lynnea. Thank you,
you.
everybody, for being here.
Bye-bye.
Thanks. Bye-bye.